So it's always fun and exciting whenever there's a new hire and they just turn out to be so hot or whatever. And until you find out that they have a boyfriend, then then they're just some bitch taking your hours.
Welcome to the Roughnecks.
Rico's Roughnecks!
What is up, all you gamers, YouTubers, and all you roughnecks out there? It's your boy DL Rico, and man, it has been a while. I was actually looking at all the footage, and I was just like, I haven't recorded since the end of February. That is ridiculous, and it's so... I made a promise back then that I was like, I'm going to be on time, I want to put up these videos, and I want to do this and that, and just kind of stay on top of everything, and... I was talking about change last time, how I'm embracing change and I want to do better and I just, I'm ready for everything. Lo and behold, this is what happened. I'm just going to come out with it. I mean, I'm finally at the settling point of everything. And I'm hoping this is just like the last hurdle that I have to get over, and then I will be absolutely in the clear. But okay, so last time I talked to you, I was talking about changes and basically how I was like embracing them, and that I was going to clue you in on them once they started happening. All right, so at the time, what was going on was my roommate was moving out, and him and I mean, we've been friends for, let's see, it's 2014 since 2007. So for 7 years, I worked with him at while I was at retail store Target. Was there for about a year and a half, and we just kind of stayed in touch, stayed kept hanging out and doing this and that, and he was a really good buddy of mine, and he decided it was time to leave. Had his, had some personal issues as far as wanting to, or staying and just being able to keep up with the demand of adult life. But, just sometimes the it's just not for everybody. So anyway, so he was moving, and at that point, I was like, okay, well, let me just go to this. Let me go to the manager. I'll fill out some paperwork, and I'll just put it in my name. My application ended up not going through, and they rejected it. And I was just like, what's going on? I'm always on time. It's my check. You've seen my checks. You've seen it for the past 2 years. I've been living here. The property manager knows that I'm living here, so it's like, what's the big deal? And, what it all comes down to is just there's it, sometimes they don't even look at your credit score. I mean, you can have the best credit score ever, but if you're it's what's called debt to income ratio. And I've opened up a couple of credit cards, and I'm not inexperienced with it, but at the same time, it's just I don't know, they just kind of looked at that and was like, we're not sure if we want to take a chance on that. And I was just kind of devastated. Like, I thought this was a sure thing. I thought it was easy peasy, nothing big. And yeah, they did not allow it. So I was just, I was like kind of floored. Like, everything that I had planned for just was gone in a second. So I was on damage control. I asked friends, I asked coworkers, I asked various people, like, do you know anybody? Can we get them in here? Just show them that, I'm anybody that's reliable, anybody that's can move out or is responsible and, knows basically how to be an adult and take care of business. And it's definitely hard out there. Some people, they only work one job, and it's not easy getting another job, especially when you have restrictions with your schedule. So I just kind of got desperate, and I went on Craigslist. And it's always a little seedy to post up online like that, to put your business out there and try to rely on a stranger to answer the call, and not only just answer the call, but actually be able to trust them enough to uphold their word from this response. So put up an ad on Craigslist, in need of a roommate, put up my preferences and what I was looking for, how much it was going to be a month, how big the place was. And there were a few responses, and one of them seemed to just stand out above the rest. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and press on with this one, and it was all cool. they were just like, I'm actually coming in from out of town, but I definitely want to secure this residence. I don't want it to be like the last minute. I'll send you the first month's rent, and I'll send you some extra money just in case the movers get there before I do, so you can have some money to pay them, and you're not stuck with like out of money because of the bill or whatever. And I was like, it was a girl, and I was like, man, she's taking care of business. I can respect that. And I forwarded her the paperwork and was just like, here, you just gotta sign this and send it back to me, or email, or however you want to do it. And it just seemed like she was on game. And I mean, of course, I didn't just like jump into it. We were talking a little bit, like, this is what I'm about. This is where I'm actually coming from. She told me she was a laboratory technician. Don't know what that means, but I was just like, oh, well, you graduated college, so you're definitely pretty smart. Um, and I just kind of chalked it up to that. And she was telling me about her boyfriend, how he was like he has a job there, so he's not coming right away. He might come in the future, and it just the vibe seemed to be going really well. Well, lo and behold, I I inform my family about it. I let them know what's going on. Hey, he moved out. I needed this, and they were helping me through the little transitions. So, um, what was it? Yeah. So we're going ahead, and I tell them the story and everything, and I tell them, about the new person that I've had lined up and how they're sending money, and they're just kind of like they're a little leery, like, she hasn't even seen the place. Like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, no, it's legit. And she sends money orders, and I finally get the payments or whatever, and I look at them, and there's three payments. There's three money orders in here, and they're each $950. Like, I told her, and the rent was gonna be way less than that. I was only expecting maybe 900 at the most, because of her half of the rent, her half of utilities and everything that was included, plus whatever extra she wanted for the movers and fees and everything. She sent over like $2,800, and I'm looking at these things. At first, I'm just kind of excited that they got there, because I was waiting for like a couple weeks before they finally showed. And then I once again I let my parents know and update them on the situation, and they just kind of, my mom just kind of sits me down and is like, that is a lot of money to entrust somebody that you've never met, with an apartment that you've never seen, and just kind of like shows me all the red flags that I just didn't pay attention to. And sure enough, I go into the bank. I let them know, the skepticism and everything. Um, they look right. Take one look at them, and they're, yep, they are. Those are fakes. So while I was paying off all these things for them, thinking that, oh, they're just gonna reimburse me for this month. Yeah, I'm out $500. um, but man, it was just a life lesson that came at the wrong time, basically. And it's never a fun thing to be taken advantage of, to be scammed like that. And that's all it was. It was a scam. And I'm just kind of looking at that now, like the people that do this, like, why do you have to be like this? I understand. Again, I understand times are hard. You need a quick fix to get money. You need to, I just whatever. And so it was just a big wake up call when I turned in those money orders, and the bank just took one look at them. Was like, sorry, they're fakes, and we can't do anything with it. So anyway, they informed me about that. My next step was, my mom. I went to her and I was just like, did you talk to somebody, because you seem to be very well informed about this stuff. Who did you talk to so I can get a hold of them? And she gave me the number. I had to contact the Better Business Bureau, so I called them. They were like, well, because because everything was done over the internet, because everything was like kind of emails and that kind of thing. It's a federal case, so you have to contact the FBI. They give me the FBI's number. I contact them and let them know what's going on. They pass me all the internet crimes, and they tell me, it's like, well, it's like, yeah, we see we see the little problem there, but it is not within the price range that kind of flags our division down. So you're gonna have to talk to Secret Service. And I kind of I questioned it just a bit. And I was like, well, it's $2,800, and they were like, yeah, you'd have to add on a couple more zeros to really get us to kind of pay attention and want to do something about it. And I'm just like, wow, thanks tax dollars, that's awesome. But you know, it's 2,800 in the grand scheme of things. I can get it that there's bigger fish to fry, but at the same time, when you're going over it as a law enforcement officer, with any let's say it wasn't even a scam order such as this in fake money orders or whatever. Let's say it was like a drug bust. Yeah, this guy is selling like maybe a few ounces of weed, but wouldn't you want to bust that? Take take whatever leads you can and take whatever I guess score you can from each of these busts and just kind of use that to go after bigger game. You know, obviously this drug dealer who is selling like little ounces and probably has maybe a pound or so on him at his home. Don't they get their supply from somewhere? So you use that to your advantage to catch the bigger fish. Well, why not the same thing with this money order scam? Like, I understand it's $2,800. You usually go after sums of, you know, hundreds of thousands or more, but they have to be working for someone. They have to be, you know, there has to be something going on behind their means then, and maybe they're getting their cut from someone else. So how about let's just go after them, take them, you know, help me. Yeah, it's not much, $500, whatever, but you know, let's go after these guys. Let's bust them, and then hopefully they'll take us to the bigger game behind it. I don't know. That's just my mentality about it. So when when I figure out that the money orders are all fake and everything, I report it, file the complaint with the Secret Service, and then I start thinking, you know, they don't know that I know, so let me just keep this going for a little bit, and so I messaged the person. I'm just like, hey, guess what? Your money orders finally came in. You know, I can't get to the bank today. Let me see what I can do, and I'll try to get there either tomorrow or the next day. And sure enough, like these scams always do, once they find out that you've received their payment, they try to get you to wire transfer money over to them. Now, the way the scam works is normally by now I wouldn't have figured out that the money orders were fake, and I would have put the money in a deposit. It would have taken, you know, so long to clear for whatever, you know, because that's just banks take a process, and they would have said, you know, wire transfer this money, and of course it's their money. You don't want to hold on to it, so you do it, and then when they find out the money orders are fake, they end up taking the money out of your account instead of the money orders. So that's how the scam works. But I'm just kind of like, let me play along. Hopefully I can get an address. And oh man, it's still a process. I'm still not quite done with it. I'm still in the process of emailing him. But that's what's been going on. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to get these videos out to you as best I can. Please be patient with me. I will keep them. I will keep them coming as every chance I get. But as you can see, that's the end of the match. We don't win them all. I was doing the best I could. I think I went 30-13 or so. But just want to thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like if you did. Subscribe if you're new. And talk to you guys later. Peace.
Would you like to know more?